Thanks for watching County Report this week. I'm Susan Kenedy. There are new signs of life for an ambulance fee here in Montgomery County. County Executive Ike Leggett says the fee is needed to offset education costs shifted by the state. Mr. Leggett has asked the County Council to reconsider the fee, which was rejected by voters 18 months ago.
Well, things have changed. We know and believe that when you look at a $400 million shift over the next 10 years, the options are fairly clear. Either you make further reductions out of budgets that we reduced by $2.6 billion, you increase taxes, or you do what other jurisdictions have done. That is, at least get some of that money from the ambulance reimbursement from insurance companies. I think that's a good option. We did not have the conditions that we see now 2 years ago when the citizens rejected this in terms of a referendum. We've had unprecedented changes at the state level as it relates to the MOE, as well as it relates to the shift of the teacher pension. Knowing that, the real question before the council and for citizens now, are you prepared to reaffirm that decision given the information that you now have before you?
Councilmember Phil Andrews disagrees with the executive on the principle of the fee and criticized this latest move to revive the issue.
Well, one, it's not the case that it's needed to offset the budget. The budget as proposed by the county executive has a $200 million increase without ambulance fees. So clearly there's plenty of room to figure out how to balance the budget without ambulance fees. But the major point is the voters spoke on this less than 18 months ago, and they rejected ambulance fees. Voters decided they didn't want to have the county charge anyone a $300, $800 ambulance fee, and it's disrespectful of the county executive with regard to voters to propose this, and I don't think the county council is going to stick its thumb in the eye of voters as the county executive is.
The council will take up the EMS fee in committee in the coming weeks. The newest addition to Metro system is officially opened. The garage at the Glenmont station on the Red Line is ready for Metro commuters looking to park. Lorna Virgili has the story.
6 floors, an additional 1,200 parking spaces, and environmentally friendly design. This is the second garage at Glenmont Metro Station on the west side of Georgia Avenue.
The Glenmont station is one of our most popular stations for the Metro system, and the demand for parking far outstripped the available spaces. The original parking spaces usually are filled by 8 a.m., making it quite discouraging for those who wanted to use Metro to actually use it. Now, this second garage, which will expand the overall garage spaces, parking spaces to 3,000, 1,200 here and 1,800 across the street, will be a boom to transit and a boom to the environment.
In the county's constant fight to reduce traffic congestion, the popular Glenmont station now expands transit-oriented services by ensuring that Metro is used. The garage incorporates environmentally sensitive features such as energy-efficient light fixtures to reduce energy use. The construction cost reached $24.7 million with funding from county revenue, matching grant from the state, and $500,000 in federal funds to purchase 2 new buses.
This is our nation's Metro system. We need to make sure it has the support it needs from both the federal partners, the state partners, and local partners. And today we celebrate a very important Montgomery County initiative. Thank everybody who helped make it possible. And let me thank all the men and women who work so hard every day for WMATA, making sure that our constituents, your customers, get good service. And we can look forward to continue to work with you to make sure you have the resources that you need. Thank you.
The garage features customer assistance phone, extra lighting, digital security cameras, and a police room to enhance security. Parking at the garage costs $4.75. For County Report this week, I'm Lorna Virgili.
Councilmember Mark Elridge has introduced a bill that would prohibit the construction of a gas station at the Costco that's planned next to the Westfield Mall in Wheaton. Community members have been opposed to the plan since its introduction 2 years ago. They say it's a health risk, and some council members agree.
This is a super mega gas station located next to a residential neighborhood and next to a swimming pool and barely 1,000 feet from a school, and that raises another level of concerns, and I they cannot mitigate all of the negative impacts of the gas station. There are going to be lines of cars that you see at every Costco station idling within, I guess it's 400 or 500 feet of a swimming pool outdoors, within about the same distance of a bunch of houses, and it's just not a safe thing to do. And when it came to my attention, I thought, well, you know, it doesn't just apply to Costco. I wouldn't want this done in any neighborhood. I wouldn't want someone to land one of these mega stations next to a rec center or ball fields or schools.
That if it were my neighborhood, I would actually do the same thing that this community is doing, which is to say, you all know what the health impacts can be and could be of putting a gas station of this size with that many bays this close to a community. We do, as a council, sit as a board of public health. I think this is a huge public health concern, and so I have signed on to that ZTA as a co-sponsor, and hopefully we'll have that conversation at the council about, you know, when we want to build these kinds of facilities this close to people, what those impacts are and what we can do as the council to redirect maybe where the Costco mega gas station should locate.
The Maryland State Highway Administration is currently studying the intersection of Great Seneca Highway and Orchard Ridge Drive, Kentlands Boulevard in Gaithersburg to determine if any improvements can be made to make it safer. Community members raised their concerns with officials after a pedestrian was hit while trying to cross that busy road. Sonia Burke has more on the story.
I'm standing at the intersection of Great Seneca Highway and Orchard Ridge Drive in Gaithersburg, an intersection that drivers, pedestrians, and police all describe as dangerous.
Well, I think this is a very dangerous intersection because none of the cars respect the pedestrians' right of way when we have the light to cross.
In nice weather, Kentlands resident Kate Strand likes to walk to and from work at nearby Metamune. But when it comes to crossing Great Seneca Highway, she's always on alert for cars because she's almost been hit there.
Close calls, yeah, and I've had people cut me off within a foot.
Within moments of arriving at the intersection, Sergeant Scott Scarf spots a violation.
They're in violation. You see, even though they're not close to the pedestrian.
Police are stepping up enforcement at this intersection to educate drivers and pedestrians about the rules of the road. 3 Gaithersburg police officers recently spent 3 days at this intersection writing tickets and warnings.
We issued 20 citations for violation of the crosswalk by a motorist, and we issued 97 warnings for a variety of violations to include not yielding to pedestrians in the crosswalk.
Scarf said he considers this a dangerous intersection because of the high speed, its large size, and because of its unusual design.
If you notice, the crosswalk is kind of offset from the actual end of the roadway where the intersection begins, and that's not a normal situation, so that geometry also creates a dangerous situation.
Troy Kennedy is president of the neighboring Quince Orchard Park Homeowners Association. He said his neighbors are concerned.
Residents are upset. They're upset because they're hurt. They're hurt physically. They're scared to use that intersection going to work in the morning, making the left-hand turn out of our community. We don't always get people that are paying attention to lefts. They're driving straight on.
Police say it's important for pedestrians and drivers to be patient when using the intersection.
The best tip I can give a pedestrian is, even though you may have the walk light and you have an absolute right to cross, you want to make eye contact with the cars that are coming towards you as much as you can. And even though you may have the right of way, there may be a time when you have to stop and let that vehicle go on, because we have a saying, you may be right, but you may be dead right.
In the coming weeks, residents plan to meet with local and state officials to discuss the intersection. In Gaithersburg, I'm Sonia Burke reporting.
Still to come on County Report this week, Montgomery County's very own one-stop job center where residents are getting help finding work. And a story about one special volunteer who gives back by sharing his life experience with some Montgomery County high school students. When County Report this week continues.
Ride-On bus passengers can help needy families and ride free by donating canned or non-perishable food during our 25th annual Give and Ride food drive. Ride-On will collect donations from Sunday, April 22nd through Saturday, April 28th. Food collection bags will be placed near the fare boxes on all Ride-On buses. Please donate products in unbreakable containers. Food collected through the drive goes to the Manna Food Center, which feeds more than 3,000 hungry families a month. For information on Give and Ride, call 311 or go to the county's website at montgomerycountymd.gov/rideon. We're working to keep you moving compassionately.
Are you concerned about housing issues? Get free credit counseling and foreclosure prevention counseling by certified housing counselors, attorneys, and servicers at the Montgomery County Housing Fair and Financial Fitness Day on April 28th. Free credit reports, legal advice, prizes, entertainment, and more. For information about the fair or to get immediate help, call the Bilingual Foreclosure Prevention Hotline at 888-794-8830.
Welcome back to County Report. If you're having a hard time finding a job and need a professional career counselor or help with your resume, there are free career centers in Montgomery County that can get you ready for the workforce. Iris Argueta has more on this story.
Reina Flores was laid off only a month after she moved into her first home.
I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to cover my bills. So I didn't know if somebody was going to give me a chance to go back to work, to find a good job. So it was like a very stressful moment.
But thanks to Montgomery Works, Reina is back at work. She's one of several bilingual staff specialists at the One Stop Career Center in Wheaton, Maryland. Here, job seekers can access employment opportunities and career counseling, as well as Spanish language career training resources, free of charge. Reina got hired at Montgomery Works after counselors thought she would be an excellent candidate to assist Hispanic job applicants.
Yes, that really made me really happy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I was going to have an opportunity to come back to work.
Montgomery Works has one of the largest regional, statewide, and national job postings databases. But the Career Center offers more than online job opportunities. It also trains people to find better ways to market themselves and sharpen their skills in new job search techniques.
This is a very different environment than when I came up. So you have to reinvent yourself every couple of years, have to understand what's needed. Certainly social media and how you present yourself there, and we help people think about how to do that.
Job seekers who qualify can also take advantage of special training at Montgomery College or other trade schools for jobs that are on demand, like certified nursing assistant, pharmacy technician, or construction trade jobs. The program partners with employers to identify the best candidates and is always looking for potential businesses who want to advertise their openings through the free service.
Why to go somewhere else and pay as an employer when you can actually find the highly skilled labor force right here? They can use the copy machine, the fax machine, they can use different offices to be able to conduct the interviews, and they can just walk in and be able to conduct the interview. So we can actually match people with jobs, and we can match jobs with people.
And job seekers who stop by Montgomery Works can always count on Reina Flores to be there for them.
When they come, I would say, welcome to Montgomery Works. I'm here. How can I help you? Yeah, definitely, and guide them, and I'm going to tell them that is not the end of the world. You have an exit also to continue living and doing better things.
For County Report this week, Iris Argueta.
Teens interested in internships can also apply for summer employment at Montgomery Works. The Career Center has 2 facilities, a Wheaton location outside Westfield Shopping Center and a Germantown location at the Up-County Regional Service Center. For more information, visit montgomeryworks.com or call 301-946-1806. The week of April 15th was Public School Volunteer Week, which encourages volunteerism as well as celebrates the parents and community members who give of their time and expertise to enhance the education of our children. One such volunteer is Vietnam War veteran Wayne Miller, who has been sharing his war experiences with students at Gaithersburg High for 20 years.
For 20 years, Vietnam veteran Wayne Miller has been volunteering at Gaithersburg High School, helping to bring history to life.
They said when you go out on patrol, you cannot shoot until you're shot at first.
Mr. Miller connects with students as he shares his war experiences, including his nearly fatal battle injury that resulted in the amputation of his left leg.
I come into the school to give the kids a personal view of what one person did in Vietnam. I look in the audience today and my heart is full because I see blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians all sitting together, talking together, eating together, learning together, and it just fills my heart and says, you know, maybe I did fight for something.
Mr. Miller shared his remarkable journey of recovery and how he overcame many obstacles to fulfill his dreams and become a contributing member of society.
I want the students to never give up on their dream, that they can reach anything they want to do if they just keep on trying.
I learned that, even though people go through really bad and tough times, it's good to keep your mind, focused on one point, don't lose your goals.
I really took away that through all these struggles, you could find a bright light in the end. I'm not into history, but learning it from someone who actually has been there, it creates a much more interesting feeling for it. And I learned a lot more.
When students hear it from a person who's actually there, as opposed to reading an article, it stays with them much longer, and they get it. Then it leaves a much deeper impression on them.
To thank him for his 2 decades of service, the school presented Mr. Miller with a Gaithersburg High School Letterman jacket.
While Mr. Miller's oral history lessons directly affect students and their studies, there are many other ways that community members can help make our schools stronger. Whether reading to students, becoming a homework tutor, serving as a mentor, or helping to organize a school event, consider becoming a school volunteer. Up next on County Report, the County Council wants Pepco to limit its tree trimming. We'll tell you why. And part 2 of our series celebrating the sesquicentennial of the Civil War, when County Report This Week continues. Welcome back to County Report This Week. A new bill that would require utility companies to submit a vegetation management plan to the council has been officially introduced. The measure is designed to provide protection for the county's tree canopy while allowing utility companies to trim trees within designated guidelines.
No, I think we really had some issues. I mean, Pepco went through a period of neglecting to do what they were supposed to do, the tree trimming, and they seem to have responded to years of neglect by cutting trees so aggressively that, they may never grow back. And, people have shown us pictures of clear cutting. They've shown us, pictures of trees reduced to little more than tall toothpicks. They've shown us pictures of trees where branches have been lopped off on one side, while heavy, massive branches are on the other side of the tree, which just makes you wonder how the tree is going to stay balanced. I mean, people have brought us a lot of concerns about how the trimming was done, and we thought that we need to, yes, encourage Pepco to trim, but they shouldn't trim so aggressively that they never have to come back because the tree dies.
It's time for another Heritage Montgomery Civil War moment. Last month's installment described why this county was so important to the Union Army. Continuing on, we learn about the lives of African Americans who were living here at the time.
Just before the Civil War, a little over 18,000 people were living in Montgomery County. 1/4, or about 4,500, was African American. Of that number, approximately 1/3 were free. The rest were enslaved, working as farmhands, household servants, or craftsmen. One of this county's most famous slaves was associated with the building you see behind me.
Today, this log cabin in North Bethesda is surrounded by suburbia, but in the 1800s, it was part of the Riley farm. Josiah Henson was enslaved here for more than 30 years. In 1830, Henson fled to Canada, became a minister and a writer. His autobiography inspired Harriet Beecher Stowe's 1852 novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
While this particular log cabin was built after Henson fled, it is all that is left of the farm where he lived and worked as a slave. Josiah Henson was able to escape the Riley farm thanks to the Underground Railroad. This was a secret alliance of people who helped conduct freedom seekers on their journey northward. Assisting enslaved people to escape was illegal. No records were kept, but it's believed that the Underground Railroad operated for decades prior to the start of the war and passed through Montgomery County. The Quakers of Sandy Spring, who had freed their slaves 50 years earlier, were probably active in this movement. One stop was likely the stone bank barn at Woodlawn Manor in Sandy Spring. Another is thought to have been in the basement of the original Christ Episcopal Church in Rockville. In a state where slavery was legal, roughly 1/3 of Montgomery County landowners held slaves. Those who sympathized with the South were at odds with the invading Union soldiers.
I ain't got nothing.
But people of color heralded the federal troops for their promise of a better future. Encampments offered a tempting refuge. Responding to the concerns of local slave owners, federal officers were forced to order their men to turn in any contraband. Captured runaways were often held at the jail in Rockville. For County Report This Week, I'm Barbara Grunbaum.
For a longer look at the events of the Civil War in Montgomery County, visit the Heritage Montgomery website and click on Civil War. Now from our partners at Rockville 11, Councilmember Tom Moore gets a behind-the-scenes tour of the new Rockville Police Station headquarters with Chief Treshuk in this Rockville 11 Mayor and Council one-on-one segment.
It is going to be safe and secure and efficient and a good place to do policing.
Councilmember Tom Moore is talking about the new Rockville City Police facility. The new headquarters is located in downtown Rockville on the site of the old post office. We got a behind-the-scenes tour with Chief Treshuk.
I think this is a great investment in our public safety officers. They do so much for us. They do it so well. And this is really a statement of how important they are to the city.
Well, what we have here is that this is the actual tunnel that connects the historic post office to our brand new operational center on the other side. Is about 35 feet long.
Rockville 11 has been covering the progress of the construction since last year. And it was important that the new police headquarters stay true to its historical roots.
We're keeping it exactly as it used to be with the post office. It's the same veneer, the same style, the same look. The mural is going to still be here. All the postal boxes are still going to be here. So I think it's maintaining the historical significance of this building.
But with the addition of a brand new annex building, the Rockville City Police will make use of new equipment and state-of-the-art technology.
But this is where the nerve center of the police department is. This is where communications is. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, someone from the public can come into this building and find someone here available to talk to, and these people have radio contact with all of our officers. So,
Councilmember Tom Moore is thrilled with how the project is tracking and what this means for Rockville.
One of the great things about building this building now is that with interest rates so low and building construction folks available so inexpensively, we got a lot more building for the same amount of money. It's a tremendous construction project. It ended up costing around $10 million altogether, but this would have cost a lot more under other circumstances.
The grand opening is expected to be this summer. Keep it on Rockville 11 for all the latest updates on the new police headquarters.
When we come back, it doesn't take a farm to have the heart of a farmer. We'll bring you that story. And Kathy Stanhope will be here with our Pet of the Week. Stay with us.
Help your child tap into their creativity and expand their interests by signing them up for MC's Summer Youth Program. Registration is now open for over 200 full and half-day classes offered on all 3 MC campuses. MC students will spend May 14th through the 17th working in a poverty-stricken area of Philadelphia. Students in the Alternative Break program will live and work in the neighborhood, remodeling houses or volunteering at a soup kitchen, an after-school program, or a thrift store. The arts are thriving at Montgomery College. There are art shows and exhibits of all types now showing on all 3 campuses, and all are free and open to the public. Visit MC's Arts Calendar and pick out one of the many provocative exhibits now showing. For more information about the endless possibilities at your community college, visit our website at montgomerycollege.edu.
Welcome back. Brookside Gardens held its annual Green Matters Symposium recently. This year's theme was urban farming. It was a day that many learned that the home of the new pioneer farmer isn't necessarily on the range. This may be where people get most of their food in the future. Farmers working fields in cities across America.
Apparently Portland, San Francisco, Davenport, Iowa are all doing it.
This audience at the Green Matters Symposium at Brookside Gardens in Wheaton learned why farming may be hitting the pavement.
We are at a critical juncture in this country. Very often I'm going to farms, I mean farmers who are in their 80s. A dairy farmer still farming in his 80s. That's tough.
In Montgomery County, like many areas, space is at a premium. So the audience learned about urban farming, new ideas on growing food in skyscrapers or on rooftops in New York City.
Some of us have been shouting it from the rooftops for many years, but it's starting to become trendy. Overall, it's better for the movement. It's great for our local farmers. It's an exciting movement to promote and be part of.
Darren Nordahl was one of the speakers. His book, Public Produce, is about municipalities growing food on public land for the benefit of the public.
Do you have thoughts on the larger impact on the food system?
And I've never ever seen such a huge interest in food, the quality of how it's grown, and even where it comes from. And people ask me, well, is this urban agriculture just a fad? And I don't think so. As long as people have to eat food, which is going to be for quite a long time, I think that food is going to remain a huge interest to a lot of people. During World War II, the public gardening campaign known as Victory Gardens supplied the nation with 40% of its fresh vegetables. It is staggering how much food can be grown from small-scale gardening efforts on public land with just a little bit of organization and encouragement from government officials. I believe it's time to revisit public space gardening and its potential to bring people together in a wholesome manner while bolstering health and prosperity, both for the individual and the community.
In our Pet of the Week segment, Kathy Stanhope is here with a young male dog named Tex, who might just be the perfect companion for you.
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week at the Montgomery County Humane Society. And this little darling is Tex. He is a very young dog. He's just about 4 months old, and you can't tell it, but he's very soft and he's very playful. Lots of energy, and he has been evaluated to be good with kids, with people, with everybody. Just loves to play, loves to run. If you are looking for a nice, friendly puppy for your family, this is definitely a dog you should consider. He is let's see, maybe Australian cattle dog and maybe some American foxhound in there. He's a real mixture of kind of cattle dog and foxhound, and he is as sweet as the day is long. He just wants to play with everybody, and he wants to romp, and he wants to give everybody lots of good kisses. He is a wonderful, friendly guy, and you definitely want to come down to the shelter and meet him because he wants to go home with you. And remember, we are always looking for towels and sheets and all sorts of things like that because these little guys in the cages want something soft to sleep on. So if you're looking to get rid of some towels and sheets or blankets or old rugs, bring them down to the shelter. We'd love to have them. And if you'd like to adopt a wonderful young dog, you want to meet Tex. So come down to the shelter and visit him, or give us a call at 240-773-5967, or you can see him on the web at mchumane.org. Now on Sunday, April 29th, we were having a very special event. It's called Paws in the Park. It's from 12 to 4, and it's a wonderful event that if you come down and adopt Tex right away, you can take him to it, or you can take your dog, because well-behaved dogs are always welcome. It's a fundraiser for the shelter, and we really love to have everybody there. So look into it. You can get more information on our website, and come on down to Paws in the Park.
Well, that does it for this edition of County Report This Week. Be sure to tune in again next week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. And if you're social networking, you can like us on Facebook. I'm Susan Kenedy. Have a great week.